My last regular project at ILM was Titanic. So I had seen the film. I knew what he was trying to do. He had done a brilliant job of taking elements himself and just crudely compositing them. And so he had already crudely composited many of the shots that needed to be done. So I could see what it was he was going for, and they were some challenging shots. He was confident that it could be done. So I came up here and basically try and do polished versions of what he had already crudely done. Most of the shots we got were of the ship partially sunk, kind of alone out in the vast wilderness of the ocean with the stars overhead. So he was going for a look and a mood, and I think my artistic background helped. The most challenging shot by far was the final shot of Titanic. You see it as the lettering Titanic on the back of the ship is receding from camera. They had shot an element of a miniature in smoke. So the actual ship receding from camera and being lost in the haze, that was an element we received. We had to put people who were thrashing about in the water, composite all them in, and then create these bubbles. We created the bubbles using computer graphics, and we created millions of them. Whatever I did, it would not look right. And we kept sending it down thinking, okay, that's probably good enough. And Jim was not happy. Jim became more and more unhappy. And when Jim's unhappy, everybody around him's unhappy. I had been invited to come down and meet with Jim and talk about how I was going to finish that shot. So I was sitting in my office and looking at the shot on video over and over, trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I saw this one shot of a surfer that had fallen off his surfboard, and the camera had gone underwater with him. And I noticed that the bubbles were following the surfer. In other words, the flow of his movement was more powerful than the tendency for bubbles to rise. And I thought, instead of the bubbles coming towards us, I think the bubbles should go towards the ship to show all of this current. And I took that piece of film down with me to show Jim, and he looked at it and he goes, yeah, that's much better. Meeting lasted like 7 minutes. I was so relieved. We came back and we did the shot for real, and that's the one that's in the film.